Welcome back to our channel where we uncover the rarest and most valuable coins that could be hiding right inside your pocket change. Today we bring you an extraordinary story about one of the most fascinating coins in American history. We are talking about the legendary 1972 D-Mint Mark Lincon 1-cent penny coin. Believe it or not, this tiny copper piece of metal, once worth only a single cent, has now skyrocketed in value to a jaw-dropping $2 million in the collector market. So sit tight and listen closely as we walk you through every single detail you need to know about this incredible coin, from its history and background to the surprising reason behind its enormous value. To understand why the 1972 D Lincon penny is so special, we first need to go back in time and explore the history of the Lincon cent itself. The Lincon penny was first introduced in the year 1909 to honor the 100th birthday of Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States. It was the first ever U.S. coin to feature the face of a real historical figure instead of the symbolic depictions that had been used previously. Designed by Victor David Brenner, the obverse or front side of the penny featured a profile of Abraham Lincoln, while the reverse or back side originally showcased two wheat stalks, also known as the wheat ears design, which would eventually be replaced by the Lincoln Memorial in 1959. Fast forward to the year 1972, the United States Mint was producing Lincon cents at three different facilities, which were located in Philadelphia, San Francisco, and Denver. Each of these coins bore a specific mint mark to indicate where it had been struck. Coins from Philadelphia carried no mint mark, those from San Francisco were marked with an S, and the coins from Denver were marked with a D. That D mint mark is what brings us to the center of our story, the 1972 D Lincon penny. Now, most 1972 D pennies are very common and were struck in massive quantities. In fact, the Denver Mint produced more than 2.5 billion pennies that year, making it one of the most plentiful Lincon cents in circulation. So you might be wondering, how could a coin from such a common batch end up being worth $2 million? The answer lies in a rare and mysterious error that occurred during production. That error created one of the most collectible and valuable modern coins in the entire numismatic world. This particular 1972 D penny is not just any ordinary penny. It is one of only a few known examples that feature a combination of critical elements. First, it was struck with a double die, which means the coin's design was accidentally imprinted twice at slightly different angles, causing certain parts of the design, especially the inscriptions, to appear doubled. The doubling is most noticeable in the words "I in God we trust, liberty," and the date 1972 on the front of the coin. But here's where it gets even more interesting. What makes this coin even rarer is that most double die errors were found in the Philadelphia Mint coins, not in the Denver Mint ones. The existence of a 1972 D penny with such a dramatic double die is almost unheard of, and for years experts debated whether it was even real. But when a few confirmed examples began to surface in certified coin auctions, collectors and investors went into a frenzy. On top of the double die error, this coin is known to be in near perfect condition with a grade of MS 67 or higher. MS stands for mint state, and the higher the number, the better the condition. A coin graded MS 67 is considered to be in superb uncirculated condition with sharp details and no visible wear even under magnification. These kinds of coins are incredibly difficult to find, especially with an era like this one. In a recent auction, this exact 1972 D double die Lincon penny sold for a mind-blowing $2 million, making it one of the most valuable pennies ever sold in U.S. history. The buyer, a private collector with a passion for minting errors, stated that the coin was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, and that its combination of rarity, condition, and historical significance made it worth every penny of the price. So how can you tell if you might have one of these rare 1972 D pennies in your own collection? The first thing to do is to carefully examine the front side of the coin, especially the lettering. Look closely at "I in God we trust, liberty" and the date. If you see any signs of doubling where the letters or numbers appear to be slightly duplicated, you may have stumbled upon a treasure. The next thing to check is the mint mark. If it has a clear D under the year 1972, then you are looking at a Denver Mint coin, which is key. But remember, not all double die coins are valuable, and not all 1972 D coins are rare. This coin is special because of a very specific and extreme type of doubling combined with its pristine condition. To be absolutely sure about the coin's authenticity, and value it is recommended that you send it to a professional coin grading service such as PCGS or NGC. These services will evaluate the coin under expert conditions and assign it a grade. If your coin is verified as a 1972 D double die in high mint state condition, then congratulations, you might be sitting on a fortune. But here's a fun twist. Even lower grade versions of this rare penny are still worth a lot of money. Some examples in circulated condition have been known to fetch several $1,000s, while those in slightly better shape can reach tens of thousands. The important thing is to never overlook your spare change and always check every penny that comes through your hands. You never know what kind of hidden treasure might be waiting in an old jar, drawer, or roll of coins from the bank. Collectors all over the world continue to hunt for coins like the 1972 D double die penny because they represent the perfect storm of rarity, mystery, and historical importance. It is a coin that should not exist, yet it does. And the fact that it went from being a tiny 1-cent piece of copper to a multimillion-dollar collectible proves that anything is possible in the world of numismatics. So if you are a coin collector or just someone curious about what hidden gems you might own, start looking closely. Pay attention to the smallest details. Who knows, maybe the next multimillion-dollar coin is already sitting in your collection just waiting to be discovered. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon so you never miss out on more amazing stories about rare coins and valuable treasures. Until next time, keep searching, keep collecting, and keep believing, because even the smallest coin can hold the biggest surprises. Welcome back to our channel where we uncover the hidden treasures in your pocket change, and today we are diving deep into one of the most astonishing discoveries in the world of coin collecting, the 1970 no mint mark Lincon 1-cent penny, which has taken collectors by surprise due to its shocking value and incredible historical background. Now imagine this for a moment. You are sorting through your old piggy bank, or maybe just glancing through a handful of change, and suddenly you spot a worn copper penny from 1970. And you barely even look at it because after all it is just a penny, right? But what if I told you that one specific version of this coin, the 1970 Lincon penny with no mint mark, could be worth an absolutely jaw-dropping $88,276? Yes, you've heard that right, one single cent, now valued at nearly $90,000 in the collector's market. But how did this happen? What makes this coin so rare, and how can you tell if you are lucky enough to own one? Stay with us until the end, because we are going to walk you through the full history, the key features, and the exact steps to determine whether your 1970 Lincon cent is just an ordinary coin or a hidden fortune. To begin our journey, we need to go back in time to the year 1970, a time when the United States Mint was producing billions of pennies for circulation. The Lincon cent had already been a mainstay in American currency since 1909, when it was introduced to honor the 100th anniversary of President Abraham Lincoln's birth. Over the years, several changes had been made to the coin, including its composition and small design tweaks, but the overall appearance remained iconic, with the bust of Lincoln on the front and the Lincoln Memorial on the back. Now in 1970, the U.S. Mint facilities in Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco were all actively producing coins. Each mint used its own identifying mark known as a mint mark, which appears just below the date on the obverse or front side of the coin. Philadelphia typically produced coins without a mint mark, while Denver coins were marked with a small d, and San Francisco coins carried an S mint mark. However, this is where things start to get interesting. Most 1970 Lincon pennies were struck with either a D or S mint mark, as the majority of production came from those two mints, but a very small number of 1970 pennies were minted without any mint mark at all. These no mint mark 1970 pennies were produced at the Philadelphia Mint, but what makes them special is not just the absence of a mint mark, it is something far more mysterious and rare. Among these Philadelphia struck coins, some examples were found to have doubling in the design elements, a type of mint error known as a double die. This occurs when the coin die itself is misaligned or imprinted more than once, with a slight shift causing certain parts of the coin's design to appear doubled, and on the 1970 no mint mark Lincon penny, the doubling is often visible in the word liberty and the motto "I in God we trust," and sometimes even in the date 1970 itself. This double die variation is one of the rarest and most sought after errors in the Lincon cent series, and what makes it even more valuable is how few were discovered and authenticated by grading companies. These double die 1970 no mint mark pennies were not widely known at the time they were released, and many were spent and circulated just like normal change, which means they could still be sitting in collections, coffee cans, or coin jars across the country unnoticed for decades now. Let's talk about the incredible value and how it skyrocketed over time. In 2021, a high-grade 1970 no-mint mark double-die Lincon penny sold at auction for over $88,000, setting a record that stunned even experienced coin experts. The coin had been graded in mint state condition by a top grading service, meaning it was almost flawless with sharp details and barely any signs of wear. Collectors and investors alike saw this coin as a rare opportunity, and the bidding war that followed proved just how desirable this coin had become. So what should you be looking for if you think you might have one of these ultra-rare pennies in your possession? Here are the key features to examine closely. First, check the date on your 1970 penny. Make sure there is absolutely no mint mark below the date. If there is a D or S, then your coin is from Denver or San Francisco and not the rare Philadelphia struck version. Next, use a magnifying glass or a coin loop to inspect the lettering, especially the word Liberty and the motto "I in God We Trust." Look for signs of doubling where the letters appear slightly shifted or duplicated. That is the telltale sign of a double die. And if you spot that, your next step should be to send your coin to a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC for authentication, and grading condition is also incredibly important. The higher the grade, the more valuable the coin. If your coin has minimal scratches, sharp details, and still maintains its original red or reddish-brown color, it could be worth a small fortune, and even circulated examples with slight wear can still fetch thousands depending on the strength of the doubling and the condition. As of today, in the current collector's market, a certified 1970 no-mint mark double-die penny in near-mint condition can range anywhere from $30,000 to over $88,000 depending on demand, rarity, and grade. Even lower grade examples have sold for over $10,000, making this one of the most valuable Lincon pennies in modern history. But the real question is, why are collectors willing to pay so much for this particular coin? The answer lies in a combination of rarity, historical significance, and the thrill of the hunt. Collectors are always on the lookout for errors and varieties that slip through the cracks of the minting process, and when one is as dramatic and scarce as the 1970 no-mint mark doubled die penny, it becomes a crown jewel in any coin collection. In the end, this story is a powerful reminder that valuable treasures can still be found in the most unexpected places. A single penny once thought to be just spare change can now be worth a life-changing amount of money. And who knows, maybe one of you watching right now has this coin sitting quietly in your drawer waiting to be discovered. So go ahead and check your 1970 pennies. Carefully look for that missing mint mark and any signs of doubling, and if you think you found something special, be sure to consult a professional for evaluation. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this deep dive into the fascinating world of rare coins, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon so you never miss a video from our channel where history and hidden treasure come to life. Until next time, keep hunting and good luck, coin collectors. Welcome back to the channel, coin collectors and treasure hunters. Today we are diving deep into the astonishing story of one of the most shocking finds in American coinage history, the legendary 1972 no-mint mark Lincon 1-cent penny that has stunned experts and collectors across the world, with its skyrocketing market value currently reaching an unbelievable $76,987. Yes, you heard that right, a single 1-cent penny from the year 1972 with no mint mark could be hiding inside your pocket change or tucked away in an old jar in your attic, and if it is in the right condition and has the right traits, it could bring you a fortune. Today we are going to uncover the full story behind this iconic coin, from its historical roots to its unique features and finally to its present-day jaw-dropping value in the collector's market. Let us begin with the history of the Lincon penny itself. The Lincon 1-cent coin was first introduced in the year 1909 to celebrate the 100th birthday of President Abraham Lincoln. This marked the very first time in American history that a real historical figure was featured on regular circulating United States coinage. The coin was designed by Victor David Brenner and originally featured the initials VDB on the reverse, but due to public criticism they were quickly removed and later restored in a more subtle form. In 1918, the Lincon cent became a staple of American coinage and continued production every year with various small changes along the way. The 1972 penny is part of the Memorial Reverse Design series, which was first introduced in 1959, replacing the wheat ears design to mark Lincoln's 150th birthday. The reverse side of the 1972 penny shows the Lincoln Memorial, a symbol of honor and national memory. Now here is where things get interesting. The 1972 Lincoln Penny was struck in large numbers primarily at the Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco mints. However, when we talk about no mint mark, we are specifically referring to coins struck at the Philadelphia Mint because unlike Denver, which uses AD, and San Francisco, which uses an S, the Philadelphia Mint did not put any mint mark on coins at that time. The 1972 no mint mark Lincon penny is not necessarily rare by itself. In fact, millions were produced, but what makes certain examples of this coin so valuable is a very specific error that occurred during the minting process, and that is the famous 1972 double die obverse error. Now let us explain. What a double die error is: when a coin die is made incorrectly due to misalignment during the hubbing process, the result is that design elements appear to be doubled. This is especially visible in the date and the lettering on the coin, and in the case of the 1972 double die Lincon penny, this doubling is extremely prominent and can be easily seen with the naked eye, especially in the words Liberty, Indiana, God We Trust, and the date 1972 on the obverse or head side of the coin. This error created a number of highly sought-after coins known as the 1972 double die obverse pennies, and here is the key detail: these error coins were all produced in Philadelphia, which means they carry no mint mark. Therefore, the 1972 no mint mark double die penny became one of the most famous and valuable error coins in United States history. Experts estimate that approximately 20,000 of these error coins were released into circulation before the mistake was caught, and even fewer have survived in high grade condition over the decades due to circulation, and where this rarity combined with the dramatic doubling and historical interest has pushed the value of these coins to extraordinary levels. Now let us talk numbers, because this is where things get exciting. In circulated condition, where the coin shows signs of wear and has been used in everyday transactions, a 1972 no mint mark double die penny can still be worth anywhere from $100 to over $500 depending on its overall appearance, but in uncirculated condition, where the coin has never been used and maintains its original mint luster, prices rise dramatically. Coins that are graded by professional services such as PCGS or NGC as mint state 64 or higher are incredibly valuable. A mint state 65 example can fetch between $5,000 and $15,000, and once you reach the higher ends of the mint state scale like MS66, MS67, or even MS68, the prices explode. In fact, one specific example of a 1972 no mint mark Lincon penny with the double die obverse error graded MS67 read by PCGS sold at auction for a staggering $76,987, making it one of the highest prices ever paid for a Lincon cent from the Memorial Reverse series. And what is even more shocking is that more of these valuable pennies may still be out there hiding in plain sight in old rolls of pennies, jars of spare change, or coin collections that have not been carefully checked. If you are a coin collector or simply curious about what might be in your home, now is the time to start looking. Here is how you can identify a true 1972 double die no mint mark Lincon penny. First, check the date. The coin should clearly read 1972 with no mint mark under the date. Second, look closely at the lettering, especially the words Liberty and I in God We Trust. If you see strong doubling on those letters where each letter appears to have a shadow or extra stroke, you may have a genuine double die error. Coin, be sure to use a good magnifying glass or jeweler's loupe to examine the details, and if you believe you have found one, do not clean the coin or handle it excessively. Instead, send it to a professional grading service for authentication and grading, as the grade will significantly impact its value. Collectors pay a premium for coins that are certified genuine and given a high grade, and many auction houses and online marketplaces only list coins that have been professionally graded, so getting that certification can open doors to top dollar sales and serious interest from high-end collectors. To sum it all up, the 1972 no mint mark Lincon penny may look ordinary at first glance, but if it features the famous double die obverse error, it transforms into a rare and valuable piece of American numismatic history with a current top market value of $76,987. It is living proof that treasures still exist in the most unexpected places, and that one penny can truly change your life. So the next time you come across a penny in your change jar, take a moment to check the date and look closely, because who knows, you might be holding onto a coin worth tens of thousands of dollars. Thanks for watching, and if you found this video helpful or interesting, be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel for more incredible coin stories, coin hunting tips, and updates on the latest market values. Until next time, keep hunting, keep collecting, and may fortune smile upon your pocket change. Welcome back to our channel where we explore rare coins, hidden treasures, and shocking discoveries in your pocket change. Today we're diving deep into a coin that might just be sitting in your collection or tucked away in a jar at home. It's the 1964 Mint Mark Lincon 1-cent penny coin, and believe it or not, some rare examples of this unassuming copper coin have recently been valued as high as $62,726. That's right, a single penny with a hidden story and jaw-dropping value. So what makes this particular coin so special? Why is the 1964 Lincon penny commanding such incredible prices on the market today? To understand that, we need to rewind time and take a journey into the coin's origin, historical context, and all the details collectors look for that push this coin's value sky high. Let's start with the basics. The 1964 Lincon penny was struck at the Denver Mint, hence the D Mint mark located just beneath the year on the obverse side of the coin. This coin features the iconic image of President Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner, first introduced in 1909 to commemorate the centennial of Lincoln's birth. On the reverse side we see the traditional wheat ears, which had been replaced by the Lincoln Memorial in 1959 to honor the 150th anniversary of his birth. The 1964 penny belongs to the Lincoln Memorial series, which ran from 1959 until the early 2000s. Now here's where things start to get interesting. In 1960, for the United States Mint produced an extraordinary number of Lincoln cents. Over 3.7 billion pennies were struck in Denver alone, making it one of the most heavily minted years in the Lincoln series. But within those billions of coins there are certain rarities, errors, and high-grade examples that stand out from the rest. These are the coins that have caught the eyes of collectors, dealers, and investors. So what makes a 1964 penny worth tens of thousands of dollars? First and foremost is condition. In the world of numismatics, condition is everything. A coin that has never been circulated, that still shines with its original luster and shows no signs of wear, is referred to as being in mint state. A 1964 Lincoln penny graded at MS 67 or higher by professional grading services like PCGS or NGC is considered extremely rare. Fewer than a handful of coins from that year and mint survive in such pristine condition. One such coin recently sold at auction for a staggering $62,726. This was not your average penny. It was a nearly flawless example with sharp details, clean surfaces, and a brilliant red finish. This level of preservation is so rare for a coin from 1964 that collectors are willing to pay an incredible premium just to own it. Another factor that can drive up the value of a 1964 penny is the presence of mint errors. These are mistakes made during the minting process that result in unique and collectible coins. Some of the most valuable errors include doubled dies, off-center strikes, repunched mint marks, and coins struck on the wrong planchets. For example, a 1964 penny with a strong doubled die obverse where the date or lettering appears doubled can be worth thousands of dollars depending on its condition. Repunched mint marks or RPMs are another highly sought-after error from this year. This happens when the D mint mark was stamped more than once in slightly different positions, creating a noticeable doubling effect on the mint mark alone. Collectors love these quirks because they represent flaws in the minting process that make the coin one of a kind. Now let's talk about composition. The 1964 Lincoln penny is made of 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc, which was standard for pennies at the time. Because of the high copper content, the metal value alone is often worth more than 1 cent, especially during times of high copper prices. But remember, melting down pennies for their metal content is illegal in the United States and should not be attempted. However, the copper content combined with historical significance and rarity certainly adds to the coin's appeal. So how can you tell if you have a valuable 1964 penny? Start by checking the condition. If your coin looks brand new with no scratches or wear and has a strong red tone, it may be worth getting professionally graded. Look closely for any signs of doubling on the date or letters and inspect the mint mark for any repunching. If you suspect you have a rare error or high-grade example, send it to a reputable coin grading service for authentication and evaluation. Where can you sell a rare 1964 penny? If you believe your coin is valuable, consider auction houses like Heritage Auctions or Stack's Bowers, which specialize in rare coins. You can also list it on trusted coin selling platforms like eBay, but keep in mind that serious collectors prefer certified coins with a professional grade for in-person transactions. Visiting a reputable coin dealer or attending A coin show might be your best bet. Let's recap. The 1964 Lincon penny is one of the most common pennies in existence, but rare examples in mint state with errors or near perfect condition can fetch incredible prices at auction. One such penny sold for $62,726, proving that even the most ordinary coin can hold extraordinary value. So before you spend your spare change or cash in that jar of old pennies, take a moment to look through your coins. Check the date, check the mint mark, and most importantly, check the condition. You never know when you might be holding a tiny piece of American history worth a fortune. Thanks for watching, and if you found this video helpful or interesting, be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more deep dives into rare coins, hidden treasures, and unbelievable stories from the world of numismatics. Until next time, keep collecting, keep exploring, and who knows, maybe your next penny could be worth $62,000. Welcome back to our channel, where we explore the fascinating world of rare and valuable coins that could be hiding in your pocket change or old coin jars. Today we are diving deep into one very special coin that has stunned collectors and continues to rise in value in today's market. We are talking about the legendary 1977 Lincon 1-cent penny with no mint mark that has been sold for an astonishing price of $92,277. Yes, you heard that right. This small copper coin that many of us have overlooked is worth more than most luxury cars and even some homes. Now, before we get into why this penny is worth such a jaw-dropping amount, let's take a look at the history of the Lincon penny and what makes the 1977 no mint mark version so special. The Lincon cent was first introduced in the year 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of President Abraham Lincoln's birth. It replaced the Indian head penny and became the first U.S. coin to feature a real historical person on its obverse or front side. Designed by Victor David Brenner, the Lincon cent has remained a staple of American currency for over a century and has undergone several changes in design, composition, and minting over the years. In 1977, the Lincon penny was struck at two primary U.S. mint locations: the Denver Mint, which used a D mint mark, and the Philadelphia Mint, which traditionally did not use any mint mark on coins prior to 1980. This is why if you come across a 1977 penny that has no mint mark, it means it was struck at the Philadelphia Mint. Now you might ask, if the no mint mark is normal for Philadelphia coins, then why is a 1977 no mint mark penny worth over $92,000? Here's where things get really interesting. While most 1977 pennies from Philadelphia are common and can be found in circulation, there are a few rare varieties and high-grade specimens that make them extremely valuable to collectors. One of the key reasons a 1977 no mint mark penny could fetch such a high price is its condition. Coins graded MS 67 or higher, meaning mint state 67 or better by professional grading companies like PCGS or NGC, are extremely rare. For this year, most pennies from that era suffer from purse strikes, blemishes, or circulation wear, but a flawless or nearly flawless example is a true treasure. In one remarkable case, a 1977 no mint mark Lincon penny graded MS 67 read by PCGS sold for an unbelievable $92,277 at auction. What made this coin stand out was its pristine surface, blazing red color, perfect strike, and complete lack of post-mint damage. This is what serious collectors and investors are looking for, a perfect or near perfect example from an otherwise common year. But that is not the only factor driving up the value. There are also known error coins from 1977 that add to their desirability. Some of these errors include off-center strikes, doubled dies, clipped planchets, and other minting mistakes that make each coin one of a kind. A double-die penny, for instance, can show doubling in the letters or numbers, such as in the word liberty or the date 1977. Collectors love these kinds of errors and are willing to pay a premium to own them. Let's talk a bit more about the copper composition of the coin. The 1977 Lincon penny is made of 95% copper and 5% zinc, which was standard before the 1982 composition change. Since copper has intrinsic value and many people collect pre-1982 pennies for their metal content alone, this adds a layer of collectible interest. But the real key to unlocking the value of your 1977 penny lies in its grade and possible errors. If you have a 1977 penny with no mint mark, the first step is to examine it under good lighting and possibly with a magnifying glass. Look for signs of doubling or any unusual shapes on the letters, numbers, or design. Check the edges to see if the coin was struck off center or if any part of the rim is missing. These are signs of mint errors. Next, check The colora bright red penny with no spots or discoloration is worth much more than one that is brown or heavily worn. Red pennies are those that retain their original mint color and are graded as red by grading services. Now, if you believe your penny might be valuable or in top condition, consider sending it to a professional grading service such as PCGS or NGC. They will evaluate your coin's condition, authenticity, and possible errors and assign it a grade. The higher the grade, the higher the value. And if your coin gets an MS67 red grade, or even close to it, you might just be holding a small fortune in your hand. So what is the current market value of a 1977 no mint mark Lincon penny? While average circulated examples may only be worth a few cents or $1, high-grade coins, especially those certified by a professional grading company, can sell for hundreds and even thousands of dollars. And as we mentioned earlier, that record-setting sale at over $92,000 proves that collectors are actively hunting for top-grade or rare era versions of this coin. The market for collectible coins has seen a strong resurgence in recent years thanks to online auction platforms and greater awareness among the public. Coins that were once considered pocket change are now considered historical artifacts and investment assets. The 1977 no mint mark Lincon penny is a perfect example of this transformation. So here's the big takeaway: check your change, look through your old coin jars, inspect those rolls of pennies you might have tucked away in a drawer or safe, because you never know, you might have a treasure sitting right in front of you. And remember, the keys to value are condition, rarity, and error type. Say clean, uncirculated 1977 penny with a brilliant red color and no mint mark can change your life. If you enjoyed this video and want more deep dives into rare coins, valuable currency, and historical finds, then make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon so you never miss an update. We cover everything from rare quarters and dimes to silver certificates and modern coin errors that are worth big money today. Thanks for watching, and until next time, keep your eyes open, your pocket change safe, and happy collecting.